Just imagine with me, think with me now, about 5 years from now, Coach Oates has been past the Sweet 16 like 5 consecutive years in a row. And he gets to the grade eight, maybe a couple Final Fours, and he loses. He just can't get over the hump. He just can't get past the Final Four. And he has a problem even getting to the Final Four. Knowing Alabama fans like I know them oh so well, trust me when I say if Alabama don't have a national championship in football by that time, the pressure on Coach Oates is going to become unbearable. Let's talk about it a little bit right here around the herd. Thank you for joining me. Boy. Welcome to Around the Herd. Roll, Tide, roll. I don't care what's going on. Welcome to Tight Sports. This is the Alabama Football Megacast and the People's Crimson Tide Network. Thank you for joining me today on whichever virtual space you have chosen. Here on Tight Sports, we talk Alabama all day, any day, and we talk about any sport where we can get some shine for the Crimson Tide. Here on Tight Sports, we always say that the Crimson Tide is always in title run mode. Basketball's out, baseball's in. We going for the doggone trophy. So on your way in, just take a moment to just hit that subscribe button on your way in. As you know, we got a lot to cover today, and I want you to take your time and think about the good things that Alabama basketball has given you this year. Something to cheer about after just trying to forget about losing to Oklahoma 24-3. That's what it. Coach Oates, thank you for removing that from my mind. Now it's coming back to me. It's all coming back. Jackson Arnold. Oh, I gotta have you, son. I want you. Anyway, I'm gonna get you on the football field. No diddy. Haters, come on in, take notes. So we got plenty of them today, visiting us from the plains. They want to find us wallowing in our misery of losing in the Final Four. But y'all come on in and go ahead and give a brother the tip. Just take the tip of your finger and press it on the subscribe button. Got to be quick. Do it real quick right now before it stings you. And if for some reason I'm able to successfully stimulate the happy juice in your gray matter and make your funny bone jiggle, let me know by poking that like button right in the eye. Just hit it right there in that eye. It's right between the L and the K. Congratulations, Duke Blue Devils. Congratulations to you. Oh, God. If anybody saw my pregame show, I think Travell, the kid comment, Travell said, like, you talking like y'all gonna lose. Bro, I ain't had no confidence in that team. They make too many mistakes. Turnovers were high. Turnovers were actually low in that game. We'll get to it. But congratulations to the Duke Blue Devils. Them Demons came in and ball stomped the Crimson Tide right back to Tuscaloosa and advanced to the Final Four, where they will play on, what day would that be? They will play on Saturday, and I hope they lose miserably. Miserably. Cooper Flag did that thing, and Newport and Proctor of them Demons. The Duke Demons were more, I'm sorry, is that Blue Devil? Demons Devil, it don't make a difference. They were more than Coach Oates could wrap his head around. Just to summarize, the Tide had a Sweet 16 victory against BYU. BYU didn't know what to do. We set records. We scored a bunch of points. Mark Sears just, man, if he'd have lost in that game with 34 points and 8 assists, could have went on to the NBA and probably felt good about himself. The Crimson Tide was shooting like 61% from the field. Grant Nelson had a good game, trolling the paint, because I don't think BYU really wanted it. Chris Youngblood did his thing, 19-3 against BYU, helping Alabama to control the pace of play. Alabama shot 53% from the field, 49% from three-point in that game. And it was just so hot. It was so hot. I said, they're too hot. Somebody take everybody out of the game. We can close this out without our starters. It'd be a good thing. But a couple nights ago, there was a devastating loss because I had people ask me, hey, man, that dude looked pretty good, man. Like, they ain't playing with nobody out there. They taking people's cookies. I said, well, you know the Crimson Tide, like I know the Crimson Tide basketball team, our cookies are sitting in the middle of the floor every night. All you got to do is come and take them. They going to fight you for them. I mean, they crushed them. It wasn't even close. I think the closest we got to in the second half was 7. The next closest score was 0-0 at the beginning of the game. I mean, Crimson Tide just could not stop them. Usually a team has to decide whether they're going to take away the inside from the Tide or they're going to take away the three-point shot. When you have 100% ballers from the end of your bench, yeah, I'm talking about the guys they study with and the scout team, all the way to the starting 5, you can take away anything you want. They took away three-point shot. We don't even like shooting jumpers. They wouldn't even let us shoot jumpers. They couldn't get on the inside. They couldn't catch no alley-oops. They didn't let them do nothing. They didn't let nobody do nothing. They took them cookies from the Crimson Tide. And I'll admit it, there was 42% from three-point line, 53% from the field. That's almost like they could really shoot like this. Beginning of the game, coach could see, hey, just throw it over your head. We hitting half of them. And what happened? Mark Sears came over there with one of them games, man. He going to the NBA, I guess. He's done a lot. I don't know where he ends up when it comes to the all-time scoring list, but Mark Sears apparently disappeared again with 6 motherfucking points. 6. And he was rendered absolutely useless against the Duke Blue Devils. Now, somebody that they're trying to hold on to, they better, y'all better go sit Hollywood and talk to him. Y'all better sit Ryan Williams and talk to him, because I don't think he should go. But LeBaron Fallon, he led the team. The freshman, the Fedman that we used to call him back in the day, the Fedman, LeBaron Fallon led the team against Duke. He led a team of grad students and seniors with 16 points and 5 rebounds. Sound like somebody didn't have that. They didn't have that sweet Kool-Aid pumping through their veins. Fallon wanted that smoke. He young, 6'4" point guard. You know, he's Mr. Alabama or something. He could be gone. I don't know. If he comes back, they better find somebody that can play with him, because that boy can go. The other senior guard, and as I said many times, many weeks before, this team was going as far as the senior guards will take them. That's just the essence of March Madness for all the teams that make the Final Four runs, whether they win it or not. How Mark Sears goes, how Chris Youngblood goes, that's how far the team was going to go. Chris Youngblood had 10 points. 10. The team shot 35% from the field. lower than normal, and then 25% from the three-point line. 25%, 1 of 4. Sometimes I think, Duke let them shoot, and they just wasn't hitting. They say just wasn't dropping. Well, the twos wasn't dropping either, but they was playing good defense. Duke won the board battle by 11. Duke had 33 defensive rebounds. That's what you call boxing out and execute. That's hustle. Crimson Tide had 19. And like I said, Alabama shockingly won the turnover battle in this game, which just first time in a very long time. I think Kentucky that last time we won the turnover battle. We won the turnover battle 13-10. How that happened, I don't know. Because, the shots that Duke was supposed to miss, I guess they turned the ball over. They probably would have shot more than 53% if they had not had those turnovers. So they capitalized on all their transition opportunities. And I tell people, I looked at the Ken Pomeroy numbers. When you look at Duke, their numbers it was just overwhelmingly in favor. I mean, not only offensive points, defensive scoring or scoring defense, but defensive efficiency, offensive, whole bunch of stats that I don't even understand. It was just like Duke. Only thing Alabama led in was age and the schedule. Now, could have been a case where the schedule was so tough that Alabama was tired in the season? Nope. I ain't going with that. What I will tell you is I think they got to do something about their conditioning so they can make it through 2 times in a row the number one, the toughest schedule in college football. So analysts criticize Coach Oates for not making in-game adjustments to slow down Duke shooting, outside shooting. I don't know what they want them to do. You can go get a broom and whack somebody in the back, on the back of their hamstring. Other than that, everybody came in the game was hitting to me. Alabama played with some intensity, but that lack of depth was definitely exposed. Defensive rotations were slow, and I think it got slower because of their conditioning as the game went on and ball security. Because for us, 10 turnovers is just that. It's the death pill. They play so fast. They had to keep that to like 7, maybe even 6. But I want to say congratulations to the old Duke Demons. But, I just didn't see us taking that one. We had a puncher's chance, but they were coming in with just better players up from the rooter to the tutor. I mean, is there anybody on Alabama's team, to be honest? I ain't talking about another team. We beat Houston. We barely lost to what's the name of the people? We lost to Purdue. But from one side of the bench to the other, our players are so young, and the other ones were so old by the time they matured into like great players. I could see if I had to make a swap out of players, I don't know where you would take an Alabama player. Especially with Mark Sears in the second half of the year, he's been very inconsistent. So the team just got these gaping flaws. They've been inconsistently performing all year. And then coming off that big record-setting output against BYU, I knew this game was just going to be a time to just, readjust back toward the norm. You know that little thing they call the bell curve? Bell curve, we was, out here kicking butt, shooting 3-pointers. That thing just said, whoop, to bring us back to the center, back to who we are. So, congratulations, Duke. Hopefully, freshman guard LeBron Furlong will still be a part of the team next year, but going forward, future, improvements are going to be needed. Ain't nobody trying to replace the coach. Now, the coach could up and walk if he finds a place where he can go to and doesn't have to introduce basketball talent to a place. I don't know. It's a lot of legendary names out there because who knows that North Carolina job opens up. Do you stay in Alabama or do you go to North Carolina where Michael Jordan going to be greeting your doggone people and James Worthy and this one and that one and the other one and the other one and the other one and the other one, You go to Alabama, you got some good players to be there. You know, be scared of Spreewell when you see him. He may just grab you. You got to be careful. But, you know, it's some great players. Mac Dice can go over there. And, you know, Mo Williams over there at Jackson State. There's some people around. But compared to North Carolina, because that North Carolina job is about to be wide open, I hear. And so could they throw $15 million at Coach Oates? Hey, man, come do that over here because at least you can get us to the 16. If you can get them to the 16, you can get us to the Final Four. And then we'll tell you what you need to do after that. It's a possibility. So next year, I just want them to improve on their defensive consistency. You know, they struggle to defend elite perimeter shooting teams. The on ball defense and rotation got to help. I just think that they got to get themselves in better shape. Now they in better shape than tight, but being in better shape than tight ain't gonna get you no doggone March Madness trophy. Y'all know that. But they got a system on offense. But Coach Oates cannot allow teams to have an average of 81 points a year. You got to remember, some of them teams in the first 10 games, a bunch of suckers, and they still got the average up in the 80s. And we just beating about 100 to 80. Got to shave off about 10 points, coach. Got to get a defensive philosophy that's going to lower that thing down. I think that'll do the trick. That'll get you a little further. Duke scored, I think, 88. It'd have been nice if they scored 78. We still would have lost. But it wasn't been a beat down that we took the other day. Turnover reduction. I know they go fast and all that stuff, but I talked to my brother who has a PhD in basketball, and he said, you just got to fix it. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't have those turnovers. This is a routine. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the most superior ballers in the nation. So they got to be crisp. It's like I said about Purdue. When we lost to Purdue, I thought we were a more athletic team than Purdue, but Purdue knew exactly what they were and were not going to do. I think they lost to Houston this year, but we can't go hyper speed and lose games. And Coach Oates even talked about that in the game against BYU. He had to slow them boys down because they were turning the ball over a little bit. They was playing sloppy. They were tired on defense. Well, Coach, you're going to have to find out what that pace is. You may be giving those metronomes at a basketball practice. I don't know how that works. I don't know what you got to do. I'm not a basketball coach, but we've seen this 4 or 5 years. This is a really good team. I thought it was better than the team last year, to be honest. But the defense wasn't good as last year, I don't think. Maybe they're more high flyers last year. And then, you know, you brought in a lot of players out of the portal, you know, a significant number of them. I think you got to get to that. Everybody got to play in the portal, but you got to continue to build. You got a lot of freshmen on the team. Are they coming back? And you guys got to continue to build. May have to go to a JUCO, get somebody with 2 years, spread it. Just got to, and I want you to focus not just on, I remember Coach Saban something about, he looks for players, not just great players, but players that finish plays. You got to start looking for players that are not only they not scrappy, but they leaders. They fight. I mean, people that can go out and they can go 10 and 10 on the night, every night, or 14 and 10, and they just competing every night. And they don't even work. They don't let this person's bad play mess with them. They don't let this person's great play bother them. They just give you what they lead the team in action, maybe even in word. Because you have some great players, but they were a little quiet for most of the year. They got a little, like Grant Nelson, I don't know if he says very much until timeout, but Mark Sears is kind of shy on the court. I mean, he may say something to the players every once in a while, but got to get you some leaders that's going to talk that talk. Get somebody with some leadership and some hustle points coming in there. More of that Diabate type stuff. You know, just coming in, laying all out, and everybody want to do what he's doing. He just fires everybody up without even slamming the ball or doing a slam dunk. So I think we're going to do better. Let me go in this chat. I know we got a bunch of Auburn fans in here. Here we go. Jonathan Taylor want to know how I'm handling the loss. I am great. What's happening? You got the hieroglyphics in there. I don't know what that is. SEC champs. Thought Florida won the SEC. Anyway, what tight? Huggy War. Yeah. Hey man, all that cussing is not necessary. Oh yeah, congratulations. Auburn did make it to the Final Four. They gonna do it. They're gonna do it. I guess he's saying, "What's up to JT?" It's me coming in with the truth. The Duke paid the refs. Oh my God! You heard it right here first. Allegedly, according to It's Me, Duke paid the refs. Well, I explained before the game. You know that it is alleged that Coach K was a part of the Illuminati, and that he sold his soul at Tobacco Crossroads down there, somewhere between 95 South, 95, whoop, there it is, something like that. Allegedly. That's how he won the championships. The man has no blood running through his body. That's why he looks like he's dead. But he's alive. But he's actually dead on the inside. But I don't know if that goes to the next coach. So Duke has been, great for years, but you can sell your soul to the devil, and allegedly is what I'm told, at the corner of Tobacco Road and Duke, Durham, somewhere in there. It's 95. It's off 95 South. You got to look for the exit with the pitchfork and the horns. Allegedly. That's what they say. I don't know. Let's see. John JT says, something that's giving me happiness is that Auburn is in the Final Four. All right. Okay. That's pretty good. I'm happy for you, I guess. I asked Tyke the same question I asked B Sharp. Hug is coming with a question. Another man asking for my tip is crazy low key. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to check JT to the boards, because he got a picture of a football player. I'm not sure if that's because they look alike or because he's crushing on Mr. Taylor. What you know about that? BRB. I don't know what that is. Plain and simple, Duke was a dog walking, y'all. They told y'all when you can take a. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Hey, man. all the numbers led in that actual assumption that the Crimson Tide would have to have one of them awesome games that they had against BYU, which Duke doesn't allow, in order to beat them. I already said that. Come on now, leaving them boys open in the corners. Got y'all. Yeah, I think I saw the whole rainbow. I saw the United Nations open all over the place, shooting. I saw it wasn't just the 3-pointers. It was the inside. It was the side. It was the outside, the inbounds, the half courts, anything. Mark Sears either scores 40 or like 5. Yeah, he averages about 18. Let's say, who is Cunningham, because he entered the portal. Cunningham for Alabama? I think I saw his name yesterday. I had a list of people who was coming in. Let's see. He said even if Alabama played, the ref still lost. Yeah, I don't think anybody had any major foul trouble. I didn't see fouls as an issue. Alabama always plays soft. I found that out when we went to Ole Miss. Or Ole Miss came to Tuscaloosa, I can't remember, but they beat them up. And it was kind of one of those games was like, oh, yeah, well, you're a baller. You got to be able to take this. You got to be able to deal with this. Like if you go to, Rucker Park in New York, thinking you can ball, but you don't like physical play, better stay at home. I don't care if you got an NBA contract in the car. It's a certain place. You back in the day, you go to Apple Park in Tuskegee, and you can't take a couple of bumps and smacks upside the doggone with your body. If you soft, you will lose. Okay, we got a paragraph. I'll give you the story of JT, name fans lead with the winning thing, when it's changed. On social media, the best player. Yep. Yeah, as I said, you are infatuated by that young man. Coach Oates has built a competitive program, but refining in-game strategies and strengthening the roster would be crucial to have any, I should say, end of March Madness success. So we get in there. You get in there 16. 16 has become very comfortable. But getting out of that weekend of Sweet 16, grade 8 is, you know. But hey, these runs in the tournament, they have truly been refreshing, especially coming off a 24-3 loss to Oklahoma that I still can't explain. Can't nobody in that doggone whole athletic complex explain. And it takes a little bit of the pressure away from that horrible season. I would say that game. It was that game. That game changed everything. Because the Vanderbilt game should have woke everybody up like, wait a minute, what? Tennessee was like, yeah, Tennessee, they've been, Tennessee on the come up. They've been on the come up. You heard about Nico Lama. He was on the come up. Then, like, the shock and awe should have been over after Vanderbilt. After we lost to Vanderbilt, you could have lost to anybody. So why would you come in there slipping and tripping and fumbling and flipping over doggone Oklahoma? I don't know, but you did. And it was that game that really I just keep it real. I had Alabama 10-2 last year. Thought it'd be Georgia and Tennessee. Beat Georgia. Lost to Vanderbilt. But that Oklahoma, just total self-destruction. Was just something I just couldn't deal with. I just couldn't deal with it. Self-destructed right there on the football field the whole entire game. But anyway, we move on. Where am I at right here? So I wanted to do something today because I wanted to pay homage to one of the greatest basketball players that Alabama saw for the 2024-2025 season. But I cannot find what I'm looking for. That ain't it. Man, I can't read this stuff. I thought I brought it up. I guess I did. Anyway, I want to talk a minute about Miss Sarah Ashley Barker. I'm just going to say this. Alabama basketball did some things on the men's side. The women were not doing a lot, but Miss Barker's journey and her dedication and resilience and excellence from her high school days and her days at Georgia and at Alabama have been commendable. She is the daughter of Jay Barker, the starting quarterback of the University of Alabama in the 1992 National Championship under Gene Stallings. Well, we monkey stomped Miami. I don't know. Something like it was a very big beat down. I think nobody wanted to go to that school for a little while. They were feeling bad. They were talking jump. But anyway, back to, I call her Sarah Lee LeBron James Barker because I'm talking she does it all. She's a graduate student. She started out at Georgia, 6 foot point guard. 6 foot point guard. Oh my God. She's from Birmingham, Spain Park High School. She went to Georgia at first, and she was Alabama Gatorade Basketball Player of the Year, Miss Basketball of Alabama. She won 2 state championships, 2 times 7A State Player of the Year. In high school, she averaged 23.2 points, 9.5 rebounds, 2.7 assists, and 2 steals a game. And she led her team to the championship, I think, twice. I think they won both of them. In 2020 and 2018, she scored more than 2,000 points, had 1,000 rebounds in her high school career. At Alabama, she appeared only in 27 games. She missed 5 of them due to injuries. And she led Alabama in scoring for 17.2. She was first team All-ACC, and she had 1,500. She has 1,500 points. She surpassed that on February 20th. She scored 20 points in 10 different contests. She scored a high of 36 points before, but I'm telling you, in the last game she played for the University of Alabama, you talking about leaving it on the court. Who was that beat us? It was Maryland, University of Maryland. I think we lost by 15 points. I don't think the Tide scored more than like 62. This young lady had 45 points. She left it on the floor. Whatever is in her We need to recruit that for this team. That's how the men's team is gonna get over the hump with players like this on the men's side and the women's side, to be honest. She got all kind of career stats that are just ridiculous. The 5th Alabama player to surpass 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, 250 assists while at the Capstone. She led in steals this year with 2. She was named Naismith Trophy Player of the Year mid-season team. She's nominated for a whole bunch of stuff, but just to summarize, she was a 2-time first-team All-ACC last year, this year. SEC Player of the Week a few times this year. 2021 SEC All-Freshman team when she was at Georgia. And she has 1,597 career points in her college career. The scouting reports, they don't have her going to a pro team. I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched everybody play, but somebody could probably use her. I don't know if she's going to be invited to the combine and all that stuff. They say she has, great defensive tenacity and playmaking ability. And she has a skill set to contribute. But a lot of ladies, because of the number of teams they have and the availability of spots, you got to be the best of the best of the best. And a lot of first-round draft picks get sent home out of the WNBA. Maybe she could play overseas because that's still a thing. Maybe. And she could be a late-round selection or get, invited in a camp invite. Somebody may see her. But, as she moves forward, man, her legacy is going to live on for a long time. I just want to take a moment here on Tight Sports and just give her a hearty roll tide because I saw her leave it on the court every single game I got a chance to watch. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't watched about 12 of them. She was hurt for 3 of the 5 that I watched, and she didn't play, and the team looked like, if it wasn't for her coming over, Zay Green would be by herself, and I think Zay Green must have been kind of hurting too, but they were the team. They were the team. They had a lot of seasons on the team. I don't know what they're going to do next year. They have people on the bench that I don't even know why they hopefully they getting a good education because they weren't at Alabama to play basketball. I'm sorry. But I just want to commend her. And here's my thing. I know we got Coach Curry right now. Whenever Miss Barker or whatever she becomes Mrs. something down the road, when she stopped playing, I want her sent on the University of Alabama's dime to live somewhere in Brown's University of Connecticut, and she can be a graduate assistant for 2 years with Coach Gino Ariyama. Then she needs to get a job. We ought to pay for her to work over there in South Carolina with Coach Staley for 3 years. And as soon as that season over, that 5th season's over, after she finished playing basketball, she needs to be named the basketball coach for the University of Alabama. I just do not think she would allow what I have seen from some of them players on the team. I mean, okay, you don't shoot, but you don't rebound. You don't play defense, but you can't dribble. I don't even know where to get these people from. I just think she will make the team just better. They will be more competitive. They are 8. But I just think, and then by that time, Coach Curry, if she's still there, she's been there about a decade, but if she's still there, she'd be ready to retire anyway. I just want to throw it out there, man. The girl is awesome. So I want to commend her. Miss Barker, salute to you. Roll Tide. Thank you for all you have done. And I wish you the best in all that you plan to do. Well, let's get back and close this episode out. Talk a little bit about the Tide's bread and butter. Oh, nobody want to comment about this. Alabama landed a new addition to the 2026 recruiting class. His name is Jordan Evans, cornerback from Georgia. Number one cornerback, according to some people's list, depending on where you're looking at. The man is outstanding. Out of Sprayberry High School, 6'2", 175-pound corner. He also plays wide receiver. He plays just as much wide receiver as he plays cornerback. It's another Travis Hunter situation maybe. And I think that, we don't know where he may end up. Both of those groups are real strong at Alabama right now. People graduate, no. People may go to the pros early. As a junior, he finished with 35 tackles. But he had 3 pass breakups, and nobody throwing the ball over to him. Ain't nobody throwing the ball over there. I didn't see any interceptions, but you need a good cover guy. Sometimes it don't mean you got a bunch of interceptions, especially if they find out you a ball hog and you're in 10th grade. He had 670 yards receiving last year, 4 touchdowns on 35 catches. If you do that math, what is that? Is that 20 yards a catch? That's almost 20 yards per catch, based on my math. He chose Alabama over a list that included Tennessee, boo, Georgia, boo, and Auburn. How did Auburn even get on this list? Oh, but it must have spent a bunch of money over there. That's all I got to say. So Jordan is going to be joining Zion Gibson in the cornerback group for 2026. Defensive lineman Chris Booker, edge rusher Jamarion Matthews are the other 3 commits that we have. And Caleb DeBoer's second full cycle as a coach for the University of Alabama. So last time we talked about this, Alabama's recruiting ranking was in the depths of the depths of the rankings. Right now, Rivals has moved this class up to 25th. Listen now. 24/7 has moved them up to 30th. And On3 has moved the class up to 5th. So I got to go with Rivals in 24/7 with 4 people and probably another 20 to go. That seems a little high. On3 seems a little biased. But DC always says that On3 gives us too much credit. I looked up ESPN ranking, but I have here $3 letting me know them suckers want me to pay for their guesses and approximations, and they must be out of their mind. Moving over to spring training. Alabama held its first spring scrimmage on Friday. They had another one coming this Friday. They had about 115 plays that were ran. They had the first threes with the second strings and the third strings mixed up. And, as you may have heard, Alabama has a quarterback battle going on. And he gave some general comments. He said he saw a couple of balls that may have been off. There was one actual short pass he wanted to see complete that didn't get completed. Otherwise, he said he was guessed they were where you want to be in practice. Everybody was around throwing between 60-65% between all 3 of them. Now, whether he took those actual stats, whether he's guessing, I don't know. All of them are getting opportunities to lead different groups, the 1s and the 2s in particular. And he said he thought they handled the checks and everything very well. And that's a lot of it because then, they can go out there and make plays by knowing what they can check into, get in and get out of. It's real difficult because you got 3 quarterbacks that know what they're doing. This is going to be a heck of a task. It's going to take a lot of managing personalities here. If we're going to figure out what kind of game Coach DeBoer got, because if he gets to June and he still has these 3 guys, I couldn't do it but to tip my hat to him. That's just hard. He said he feels like, they were more comfortable during that scrimmage. They had specific set of calls they felt good with so they could have a successful scrimmage. And, he says his offensive staff is clicking as well because they have some changes in there as well. Because, Slick is back with the tight ends. That's one group that's really it has some strengths to it. They don't have a lot of experience. We lost a lot of experience. So knowing how DeBoer and Grubb like to use the tight end, Slick didn't just go somewhere he can just rest on his laurels. Hopefully we back in his wheelhouse and he can take the 2 freshmen coming in. I think we got a transfer coming in and the 2 guys we got and find us 2 or 3 very serviceable tight ends because we are going to need them. Moving over to the receivers and defensive backs, there's a lot of depth in this area right here. A lot of depth. A lot. They're coming along. He went back and forth. He got to look a little, I call it like a double talk, positive double talk. He was like, not that we were bad last year. We got better as the season went on. But I think, we're different than we were last year when the receiving corps. I know he don't have the depth of the team is there because he has a lot of experienced players, especially coming through the transfer portal. The guy from Miami will be tearing it up right now. Said the receivers got better as the season went along. I didn't see that. Maybe he did. I didn't see that. We had 2 receivers there, and I didn't see that. This is what he said he saw. I'm reading quotes right now. But there's too much spring double talk, to me. But it's positive. But he said the room is drastically different. He said, not that we were bad because we were good. Get kind of lost in all the words. The boy uses a lot of words. So they had a lot of matchups where it was real competitive, though. Whether it was 1-on-1s or 7-on-7s that he do in practices all during the week, he said you can see the big plays made on both sides, whether it's a big stop, a pick, a nice catch. We really do have a situation right there where iron is sharpening iron. That's why I want to see this throughout the whole team. I want to see it in the trenches as well. And I know they don't want to have injuries right now, so maybe come this Friday we'll hear a little bit more about that. But the thing that the battle I have my eyes on is with the offensive line. And here's his thoughts on the offensive line. He said he thought the day was probably one of their better days. Then he goes back and said, I don't know if it was the best day. The film will show that when you look at it more closely. I can understand that he got to look at the film. He was just stepping off the field when he did this press conference. He said they were more consistent. They were a little more consistent, just the run game and pass game. And I like that too because that shows we're prepared early to be balanced. Ryan Grubb says he wants to be able to do what he wants to do. In most cases, first of all, he wants to go on the field and have people look at our offensive line and just know they're at a disadvantage. I ain't saying they got to be scared. He used the word fear, but he wants to know that he has an advantage there. And this is my favorite part of this whole presser. He said, we created seams at times. Now, that's something Coach Womack got to work on, the creation of these seams. I like the fact that our offensive line can create seams, but, defense got to be careful because they are already giving about 140 a game. So I think that there was that they were the most consistent. They were solid in protection. They gave the quarterback some time, and this is good. I think the quarterbacks got a little more comfortable back there. And then the run game, I thought we were more physical than we've been. And that's what I want to hear. The best of both worlds. Let's get more physical than we were. Let's make my quarterback comfortable. I don't care if you bring Jackie Dupree in there to play. Or you may have to get Reynoldsworth Bingleton to come in and play quarterback. I want him to feel comfortable. I don't care. Whoever it is, I want him to feel comfortable. We may have somebody come in because something could happen. I don't know. Somebody get arrested because they were riding together in the same car. And we got to get somebody to the portal in May. I want that quarterback to come in comfortable. And then he said, so it shows up a little bit more because, we were live and taken to the ground. So the running backs had to find them seams. And they were thudding out there. They was thumping out there. They wasn't just trying to knock folks out, till next year. But he's trying to toughen them up because he know he had he got to toughen them up. Now that he's been in the SEC, he sees what's going on. But he says he's going to do some reexamination of the film. But he said right now, the vibe he has right now is that we had a positive day for them. But they have another scrimmage coming up on Friday, and I look forward to hearing the results or seeing some secretive films on the dark web. If somebody can throw something out there, I'll be looking at that. But this week coming up, I will be doing some of my features on some of the transfer players coming up, and I got a couple more recruits I need to do film on for you, and I'm going to try to scatter those out basically this month, all through this month into May. It's a lot of them. It's probably about at least 16 videos I got to drop just about that. And I look forward to breaking that down for you. But right now I've said a lot today, and that's all I have for today. But please remember to join me on Wednesday for Iron Bowl debates where I get together with my homeboy, DC. We debate all kind of stuff. Nike versus Adidas. I got to wear Adidas. Now, they don't like Nike. Nike's cut, for all the men out there with the little baby feet. Oatmeal cream pies versus Star Crunch. And thing, another little thing we're going to talk about eventually, which restaurant gets to stay in business? Arby's or Hardee's? Now, Hardee's, no doggone well, they had no doggone business changing that biscuit recipe. That's all I'm going to say. I ain't going to tell you what side I'm on. That's all I'm going to say. So please quickly subscribe and make sure you do it real quick so it don't sting you. So you'll know when I release one of these videos, go live and relay to you the Alabama sport news you need to hear. Tell your friends where they can find us. Tight Sports on YouTube and Facebook and Blue Sky. And you can find me at Tight Sports Talk out there on the Badlands of X. That place ain't made for Christians. I want to say peace to the brothers at Auburn Addicts, Water Cooler Podcast. Bub and Old Man, congratulations to you guys. Get to the Final Four. They are a fine group of Auburn Americans. Shout out to you, Roll Tide, to Sharpshooters Podcast. Roll Tide to you, sir. And with that, we will see you next time right here around the herd. And always remember, Roll Tide, roll.